And now 6 young riders get into gear for our junior kickstart motorcycling competition.
Hello, welcome to Easton Neston and Heat 3 of the Norwich Union Junior Kickstart Championship of 1986. Behind me you can see the course that has been causing quite a lot of problems to some of the young riders who are taking part in the event this year. Today we're looking for 2 of the riders to go through to the final from the 6 hopeful youngsters who are taking part. It's a great lineup, here it is.
First to go will be David West, who's 14 from Tunstall in the Potteries. Then Ian Pollard, who's 13 from Long Eaton in Nottinghamshire. Philip Horton, who's 14, goes next. He comes from Buckley and Clwyd. Adam Norris is 14 from Culpit Heath in Bristol. Seems to have been around a long time, that young man. David Page from Newbridge in Midlothian is only 12 and the smallest lad in the competition. And Paul Haywood is 14 from Holyhead on the Isle of Anglesey. First lad is on the line. That's David West. So this young man comes from one of the famous 5 towns in Stoke-on-Trent, Tunstall. He's riding a Whitehawk 171cc bike. Goes to Brown Hills High School.
That was done very well. He was going a lot slower than everybody else, and you could actually see the tires slipping around. It's just really having that patience to just keep right on top of that bike.
Well, the conditions very different from those that we've had in Heats 1 and 2. Very wet under the wheels for Heat 1, poured with rain for Heat 2. It's a bit in between at the moment out there.
Well, I keep mentioning about, you know, standing straight up and down on the machine. But there's one other major point. As soon as they get off the side of the bike, they start taking the weight off the foot pegs. And as soon as you do that, it makes it so you don't get as much grip.
No problems with grip so far for David West. His 14-year-old, clear so far. Oh, but not anymore. These double logs have caused quite a few problems in the earlier heats.
But it all comes at you real quickly, and you've got to keep that front end light and keep yourself just going in a nice straight line.
If you haven't seen the earlier heats of Kickstarter, you don't know the format of this. Each rider gets 2 runs over the course, 1 in each direction, and their total time for 2 trips over the course, plus penalties, which they get for failing to complete a section. That total time gives them a final score, and the first 2 in the heat will go through to the final. And David West doing pretty well, just 1 penalty against him so far.
Of course, he has to make sure he doesn't touch any of the side rails there. He's doing quite well.
Just the long jump to complete here. Good time over the ground. Not the fastest we've seen in the heats, but not the slowest. And just 20 seconds to add, I make it there. Makes 2:27.5. That's a very creditable performance. Ian Pollard then, 13 years old on the line. Number 14 on his bib. Comes from Long Eaton in Nottinghamshire, goes to Wilsall Comprehensive School, and this year he's actually been leading in the Youth Motorcycle Sporting Association's championships. He's also been in Kickstart before.
Almost in trouble.
The foot down there.
He was just going a little bit too quick and actually got himself sideways and missed that entrance ramp.
So a 20-second penalty already. Very difficult obstacle, that first one, but it's only a question of confidence because the manoeuvres aren't difficult. It's just the height above the ground that the riders are. And here's another one that requires a bit of confidence, coming down the waterfall, but it doesn't seem to present a lot of problems in that direction, Jack.
Right, it's coming up right there, and I believe he had a foot. It's just
another 20 seconds for that one.
It's all off cambered, and you just have to be so smooth.
So he's got 40 against him so far. He won't be pleased about the way he started there.
Yes, that was well done. There's a lot of pressure in there. As soon as the front wheel comes down after that first log, that you've got to have so much strength in just keeping that bike going straight.
Watching him go over that without any problem at all. The riders came and took a look at that just before this heat started, and they were saying to each other, well, it's just a confidence showing. It's wide, isn't it? It doesn't look so wide to me.
When you're up there, it doesn't seem wide at all. You see, he came up that hill in third gear, and you saw him press down twice in the lever, which put him down in first gear where he's riding there.
He's actually got 3 penalties against him at the moment, making minutes. I'm not sure where the third one was picked up, but the marshal's signalling 3 at the moment. Long jump to complete, so a minute to add to this time here. And he landed pretty heavily then. And he's through there in 2:0.1, which makes 3:0.1 his final time. And this is Philip Horton, who's 14, a Welsh lad, comes from Buckley in Clwyd, North Wales, and is actually a schoolmate of Tony Buckley, who was in the previous heat, had such a bad accident on the over and under section. Didn't hurt himself, but was unable to continue. Both go to Elfed High School. I suppose it'll be a matter of pride to see whether young Philip here, who's 14, can do better than Tony did. Time in the left-hand corner of the screen there is the time to beat to go into the lead on the first leg of this heat.
Do you notice the big red thing on the front of the bike? It's all the new bikes are coming out with disc brakes. There's a lot of controversy about it. See that big red piece right there? And supposedly it's all the new technology, but a lot of the older people all prefer the drum brakes.
What do you prefer, Joe?
Well, to be honest, I haven't had a bike that has a disc brake yet, so I'll keep my mouth shut about that.
Foot down there, so first fault, 20 seconds for Philip Horton. A bit of a struggle to get the bike out. It's very tight in there. It's actually just the bike length, isn't it, Jack?
Actually, it's a little bit less.
If you let the air out of the tyres, it's a bike length. So he goes on the over part of the over and under. Now this is where his schoolmate came a cropper, fell off that, but Phillips managed it well. I should think that was quite a nervous moment for him.
Yeah, back to the brake real quickly. The major thing why they designed it was that so the thing will keep working no matter how wet it gets, in which the drum brakes hold water inside them and then they start not to work.
And bit of a problem for him there, so another 20 on the stop box. So 40 seconds against him. So he's certainly not going into the lead on this. Fair bit of the course still to go.